grief strikes out of nowhere. And when it does, it hits you like a ton of bricks. So tonight, I've come to Brancaster Beach to sit and reflect and enjoy the scenes and nature and the waves. Hello, welcome to another episode of Linda's Legacy all around the coast. I'm Robert. I started this channel following the sad and untimely passing of my partner Linda. I was with Linda for 22 years, and when she passed away, it really was so difficult for me. It still is, but initially I just couldn't cope at all. Over a period, I've come up with a plan inspired by Linda. In 2027, I'm going to walk, or start to walk, the coast of Great Britain. All the way around, 9,000 miles or so, and it will take 3 years or so. In the meantime, I'm taking walks around the local area here in Norfolk and basically training towards such an epic attempt. So stick around, join me in my walks. Let's have a look at some of the local scenery. Tonight I'm returning to Brancaster Beach, somewhere that I used to come to lots of times with Linda. But since she's passed, I found it very difficult to come here. In fact, only a few weeks ago, whilst I was recording a video, I suddenly had an insight that I should come back here, because it had been worrying me. There are a lot of places where we used to go together, and it's just too difficult now, too emotionally challenging for me to revisit on my own. But when I did make it back here to the beach, it actually was not so bad. I was okay. So I'm here again tonight. And the reason being is that the last couple of days or so have been really challenging for me emotionally. Nothing particularly out of the ordinary has occurred. It's not one of those anniversary dates that stress me out or anything like that, but just really missing Linda. Those times that you take for granted as a couple that you don't even give a second thought to, just spending time together, generally just enjoying each other's company, having a chat, sharing a meal, sharing a task, doing the shopping, whatever it might be. When you can't do those things, it's hard. And I found that sometimes it sort of creeps up on me, and all of a sudden it's just too much. So I thought tonight I'd come here to the beach and take in some of the views, because Linda really loved the beach. She loved the sea. Brancaster Beach was one of her, if not the most favourite place for her to come. She would come here so many times, and I did actually say to her after we'd moved here, and we'd been here every day for some weeks, and I said, do you think we'd ever get bored of this? And she looked at me like I was completely crazy. How could you ever be bored of this? She said. Well, completely right. How could you? But we'll have a bit of a wander and see how we get on. We're heading towards the Royal Norfolk Golf Club building up there, and just take a look at these flowers that have all come up along the side. Aren't they lovely? Both sides of the path, really nice. Looking across that way, it's going to be a sunset at some point soon. I don't know if it'll be a spectacular one or not, but live in hope. That's actually one of the things that has got me thinking at the moment, because our last photo we had together was taken just down this track when there was an epic sunset behind us, and yeah, I've seen that again, and it's reminded me of wonderful times, really. That's where I normally go. That's the track down the boardwalk along there. All the way along there. And to the adjoining village of Brancaster in the distance. But tonight we're going to the beach. So let's carry on. I don't know if you can make it out over on that field across there, but it's absolutely full of sea lavender. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Not so many cars in the car park just at the moment, because it's 7:30 in the evening and lots of people have gone home by now. I know we're standing near to a toilet block, but anyway, one of the pitfalls of living here is that was the flood level in 2013, and as you can see, it's totally above my head. So, not good. Luckily, there hasn't been a flood quite that bad since. Nearly there. We can't go that way. That's the golf course, which is really good, but very expensive to join apparently. Anyway, here's the beach. And as you can see, we're at quite a high tide at the moment. So luckily I was planning on going to the right, which is good because there's no access to the left at all. Sea's quite calm. Oh, and there's plenty of people out in the sea on some kayaks. There we go. When the tide is up, you can't go around the rocks. It's all underwater. So let's see what's this way. Lots more beach. Sun on the water is looking nice. The amount of really, really lovely sunsets you get here is amazing. I've never been here for a sunrise. Might have to try that one day. This is one of those things that I find quite sad actually. A single shadow. We used to take pictures and make little videos of us in the shadows, waving. Just mine now. Very gentle waves tonight. Lovely. So I had a bit of one of those grief strikes earlier on today. I was chatting with Tom actually, and if you haven't seen the video I made with Tom, my artist friend, I highly recommend you give it a view, because it's really happy with how that came out, and to see his work is just wonderful. Anyway, so we were just having a chat and everything. We had a joke about something, and I laughed really a lot, whatever the word is. And when I'd done that, I suddenly realised I'm laughing, I'm having fun, I'm really enjoying this moment. And I immediately felt so guilty, the fact that I could do that and Linda can't. And it's really, doesn't always get you that, doesn't, but it certainly got to me today. It was quite upsetting. You go from enjoying a moment and in a split second, just feel really bad about it, feel guilty, feel bad, feel sad. Under normal circumstances, I could have gone home and told Linda what we were talking about, and she'd have had a good laugh about it as well. But can't happen. And that's still really hard to accept sometimes. I've been at work today. I work in retail, and yeah, spend all day chatting to customers, having a giving them a good experience, making sure that everything's good for them, and I really enjoy it. It's good um, to lose yourself into conversation, whether it's about what we're selling or whether it's about the weather currently, about anything really, but just to concentrate on that for a few moments. In fact, sometimes for many moments, because I you may have noticed I like to talk. But yeah, it's like a bit of an escape really. And then when it all goes quiet again, reality dawns. I still get the reality dawning in the morning as well. There are still those seconds when you wake up in the morning. It takes just a few seconds before it all comes back again. The fact that Linda's not here, and I've got to get through things on my own. I was out at the weekend, um, walking generally at an event, loads of people around, and once again, because that happened to me a little while ago, I've spoken about it at a classic car show I went to. So you're in an event, having a good time, and you look at all the people all around you, and nobody knows what's happening. Nobody knows what's going on in my head, and I don't know what's going on in their head. But you just feel that two things actually. You feel totally and utterly alone, even in a crowd of people. And then you also feel that you think that everybody's looking at you, pointing mentally at you, like there's something wrong with me or something. And sometimes that can be really stressful. It wasn't so bad at the weekend, that was okay. But you just sort of need to take yourself away from the situation and yeah, just find a little quiet place somewhere. Just thinking similar. That's my view to see. Anyway, there's a little group of people just walking past. I shan't go on them too much. But as you can see, a whole group of family of people out for a walk with their dog. And who knows what's going on in their lives? Who knows what they're thinking about? Have they lost somebody dear to them very recently? I'm sure they've lost somebody dear to them at some point in their lives. That's for certain. But is it something that they've come here to reflect on? Are they not giving a moment's notice at this point? You don't know, do you? When you see people, you've got no idea what's going on in their heads. You've got no idea what they're worrying about. It's always a thing to try and remember, I think, just to be kind. Don't go out of your way to be horrible in any way to people, because you just don't know what's going on in their world. I know what's going on in my world, but no one else does. Today, when I was at work, two wonderful customers came in, had a chat, and I've got a poster up all about Linda's legacy all around the coast. My little collection tin, which is filling up fast. Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone that's contributed. Anyway, we got talking about the project of the walk and where I'm going and everything. And it was really good, and I did enjoy that. And yeah, they asked some good questions. They were really interested in it. We spoke about Linda a little bit as well, of course, which was great. But at the end of it all, once they're gone, I actually reflected a little, because there's two sides to this. It's my project as such, because when Linda was here, it didn't exist in any format. Not at all. Wouldn't have given it a second thought. But it's all because of Linda. It's because Linda's not here and she has inspired me to do a walk and to raise money for charities and to help people, to help fellow grieving people. And that's incredible. And it's due to Linda that I'm doing it, and yet it's my project as such. A little bit of a confliction there. And when I talk about the project to people, it's all very easy to get carried away about I'm going to walk here, walk there, and do this, that, and explore here and everything. But there's different things when you do explore somewhere, you go somewhere new. I mean, I like coming here because it's somewhere that was really important to Linda. It's somewhere we came lots, and now I've got over my basic emotional fear of coming here again. It's lovely. But going new places, there's two things. There's exploring, there's the adventure of discovering. But then what do you do when you've explored and you've discovered? Well, you want to tell someone, don't you? And of course, what I want to do is to tell Linda, and I can't do that. I mean, I'll tell you all about it, obviously. Hopefully you'll find quite a lot of it interesting, but it's not the same. I just so miss being able to talk to Linda about these things, to ask her opinion, and to share stories of where we may have been or what we may have seen. Really, really hits you sometimes. I think we should just have a look at the waves and take a few moments of just enjoying the beauty of this place. Very gentle waves this evening. Not like when I was on Scolt Head Island a few weeks ago when they were really ripping along, curling waves, surfing waves I would call them. We're not far from there at the moment, actually. Just the other side across there, there's Scolt Head Island. And yeah, that big bump on the top, that's as far as I got to when I walked. Can't walk to it from this way. Got the sea in the way. What a lovely place. Back on the dunes. A couple of days ago, I had a tremendous privilege of meeting a lady who was really inspiring, actually. She approached me because she was aware of the project and everything and what I'm doing for charity and all that. And it turns out that she'd lost her daughter, newborn baby. And can you imagine anything worse than that? I certainly can't. What a absolutely horrendous experience the poor lady has gone through. Anyway, we were just sort of chatting generally about loss, and as you do intend to do in this situation. And I said, you know, it's such a terrible thing. I can't imagine it must have been so terrible. And she said, well, yes, obviously, but she said to me, but you lost your best friend. And how terrible it must be for me. And yeah, it never is a competition. It's never whose loss is worse than someone else's. But sometimes when you meet people that have are suffering and have lost someone, it tends to change your perspective on things. But it was a real privilege to speak to the lady in question. And yeah, I'll be chatting with her again later this week, actually. Incredible. I still, every week I go to a bereavement cafe at the local library, where a group of maybe a dozen or so people sometimes gather every week, and we've all lost someone. We've all suffered, and we are suffering. Some people have lost their partner, for instance, over 20 years ago. A couple of people have lost their people very close to them since Linda passed, so really recently. And yeah, it's the saying, it's good to talk. It is. We just sit and gather around, have a cup of tea, have some biscuits or cake, and have a chat. And sometimes we talk about our people, and sometimes we talk about whatever else in the world again, weather, politics, whatever. But it's good. There's a connection there, and there's a mutual, perhaps understanding, but perhaps more a mutual respect for what we're all going through. And it's just a really comforting place to be. And it certainly made a massive difference to me in the last 6 months or so. So yeah. I don't think we're going to get a particularly spectacular sunset tonight, but it does look lovely. And just over this way, excuse me going a little quicker there. Little fishing boat coming home. I wonder what they've got on there. Crabs, lobsters, fish, who knows. I'll go past the harbour tomorrow, see what I can see. It really is a fascinating place to live here. With the sea is still very much in use, not just by all the people doing water sports or swimming or whatever, but actively fishing all out here. Yeah, it's amazing, really, and it's really interesting to see. And if you go just up the road to Wells next to sea, where they have quite a few fishing boats come in there, you sometimes see the catches. In fact, some of the fishermen, I believe, actually sell directly off their boats, which is quite fun. Yeah. There's still an awful lot of local produce around here. We just hit samphire season as well, which is good. You can, if you wish to save yourself a few pounds, wander onto the marsh if you know what you're looking for, pick there. But you'll get very wet, very muddy, and it's an awful lot of work. Just spend a couple of quid and buy some. But I've had some, and it's really lovely. You just can't beat local produce. When something is grown within sight of where I am now, for instance, or caught within sight of where I am now, can't be beaten. There's so much to love about this place, and it was, yeah, Linda loved this place so much. She loved the sea, as she's always loved the sea. Right from being a small child, she loved the sea, and she loved Brancaster so much. And I think Brancaster loved Linda. What an absolutely incredible place. It's always different every day here. Every time the tide comes in and goes out, everything's different. And each tide is different. The waves come in all sorts of big waves, small waves. Sometimes they wash in seaweed. The other day there was jellyfish all over the beach, apparently. Absolutely stunning. Is it any wonder that Linda loved this place so much? Anyway, I've spent a good while sitting and thinking and just remembering times past, and it's good. It's a good place to come. I've had a good time. Don't feel quite so bad, and I think I should just wait that little while longer just to see how the sunset goes, as it would be a shame to go now and sort of miss it if it's spectacular, wouldn't it? That would be just my luck. Oh dear. But it's amazing anyway. I mean, the sun on the sea there, absolutely beautiful. So fingers crossed we get a good sunset. Well, I think that's as good as it's going to get actually today. Well, that's pretty lovely, isn't it? There's still blue in the sky. So much better this time of year than you think of winter when it gets dark at 3 o'clock or something silly. Look at this. 9:30 and it's just glorious. Not many people on the beach either. Well, it's been a good evening out here. I've been able to spend some time thinking of Linda, enjoying the beach, and yeah, it's been really lovely. So I'll head off home now, and that's the end of the episode today. So I hope you've enjoyed this as well, and I'll see you again soon. And I think that all that remains for me to say is that I just dedicate this episode and the whole channel, of course, but particularly here at the beach, to my Linda. I love my Linda forever. Take care, everyone.